Hello again. Microphone. Let's get. Oh. Okay, there we go. Let's get a different ending. Why don't you think? So I think this time, for the first time, we'll be skipping almost everything. Wake up in a ship cabin. There's a door with a 5 on it and a thing next to it. I have a watch. My name is June. And then water starts pouring in on an events-based timeline. Alright, let's see if we remember how to do this. And then by we, I mean both me and myself. Should be timing myself like I'm a kid. Damn, 630 bucks a month. Must be nice. Well, I gotta say, I admire the game's insistence on giving it an actual dollar value. Usually they're too much hours for that. Okay. Start from the bottom left. Oh, blue first. 0, 2. Come on. 6, 3. Get some key cards, and you teach me about the digital route. Seven, 4, 8, 5. Back is not confirmed. Click. I made it out of the room, but my problems aren't over yet. I'm running up. There's B-Deck. There's a bunch of people. Guy with silver hair, a lion-looking guy, girl with pink hair, guy dressed like a prince side to side, a mountain of a man, and a guy with a hair like a bird's nest. And that's my childhood friend Connie. See? Childhood. I realize I'm conflating me, first person pronoun, Junpei, which I really shouldn't be doing. Or should I? Exploring, getting our bearings. It's taking forever. We're figuring out what blocks mean. All about stars shit. I literally can't remember if that means anything. Any of these that equal 9. Just getting her fever. What is it that causes fevers? Fevers at all. Zero said, everyone who verified had to come. Still talking about what to do, and it also is taking forever. Alright, so in June, we can go through 4. Go through, turn it off, figure out that the system works. But ours isn't right there. We only have less than more than a minute. There we go. Mars key. We go into these 2 rooms. Gets me every time. It's not like that. Junpei did his best to act as though he didn't care. This is in response to, "Are you worried about me?" His best wasn't very good. "Guess you haven't changed at all, Jumpy." She giggled. "By the way, Jumpy? Hmm? How did you end up here?" "What do you mean? I told you earlier, didn't I?" "There was a man with a gas mask and..." Okay, I did tell her earlier. Skip zone. Map. Learning about the two Titanic's sister ships and the cursed coffin within. It was frozen. Frozen in a kind of ice that we won't learn about until the kitchen. Pull that shit open. Hey, can I explain something weird to you? Leaf words. A clover. I want to not take it. Thanks, but no thanks. Kind of weird to be getting presents from another dude, you know? I'm playing Junpei is very insecure. Santa's eyebrows went up. Apparently, he hadn't thought of that. Well, I guess you do have a point. I won't force it on you. Sure you don't want it? Actually, I'll take it. Santa wanted him to have it that much. Junpei couldn't see any harm in taking it. I guess I'll take it. Geez, just make up your mind, alright? Before Junpei could change his mind again. Here. Santa shoved the bookmark into his hand. He took it clumsily and stuffed it into the inside pocket of his vest. Hope, faith, love, and luck. You like gambling? Everything's about nines. Except when it's about sixes. Fifth from the top and third from the right. Can do. Nope. Just right there. Now we can put this together. I want to try something. I got the key, but first, I have to learn about something. Now I'm going to pretend for a moment like this is my first time playing and I don't see it. just black and white. Yes, it looks a little to me like a boat floating in a lake. That's the front of the boat, and there are the oars sticking out. Junpei pointed to what he was talking about. Nope. That's wrong. Lotus smiled triumphantly. This is a dog. See? Like this. Lotus pointed out parts of the picture, and eventually a dog took shape in them. See? It looked as though she had a point. Dog? Dog. See it? It was a dog. Santa also nodded in agreement. So, now we know what it's a picture of, but I don't see how that helps us. Well, let me tell you. Once people somewhere knew that it was a dog, people everywhere started to know that it was a dog. And now I know that it's a dog. So what'll happen when I play this game again? All day. I'm having fun. Okay, and into the kitchen. Rusty knife. We heard the story that the sinking of the Titanic was predicted. Yes, I have. From you. The theory is that someone was doing automatic writing, as though he was being possessed by something. But June says no. He was possessing a future version of himself. Kind of fun. Going. And then we're gonna get stuck. Funny is that in a cold room, June and Junpei would kind of be fine, but Santa is well and truly fucked. Gotta dress for the day, kids. Even though we're trapped in here, have you guys ever heard about Ice 9? Oh, and let me tell you some stuff about communicating in some way we can't sense. Junpei was kind of annoyed. June was nice, but he'd had enough of her ridiculous stories. So all of a sudden, a substance began to crystallize without a seed crystal? That seemed unlikely. No, impossible. In fact, it was utterly ridiculous. Even so, Junpei couldn't help but ask, what does that have to do with Ice 9? That's your problem, Junpei? What she's saying is that it's a lot like Ice 9. What happened, I mean? A lot like... That would be bad. If water everywhere started freezing at 96 degrees, man, it'd be the end of the world. And so on. Ice 9? Glycerin? What did it mean? I need some frozen meat about this. heck out of here. Did Lotus lock us in there? No, probably not. Chunk of pork needs to be defrosted a little bit, and we can do that. C plus 10 plus F. I do need to figure this out. Okay. Appetizer 9, meat dish 10, soup A, seafood dish F. Seafood dish. Bunch of little wavy ridges on this plate. Those plates are for serving meat, not meat. 50. Okay. So A is 10, right? Hang on, let me file. Nope, I don't have it yet. But let's see if I remember it. $12 plus 16 is 28. Plus 15 is 31. So is it 31? It's not. Didn't work. Do you think the note we found in the port was a hint? C plus 10 plus F. There aren't any letters on the input device. Maybe if we could find a way to convert letters to numbers. That voucher next to the plates. Oh, did I not look at the voucher? Could have sworn. Nine plates. Appetizer 9, meat dish 10. Meat dish. Plate for meats. 16. Here we go. So now when I look at the voucher, nine plus F being based. F is 15, so it'd be 24. That's right. So C equals 12. I think I was right about that. 12 plus 16, 28. Oh. That's what I was wrong about. I have a calculator, you dumbass. 12 plus 16 plus 15 equals 43. There we go. And inside, look at that. Saturn key. Now we're going here, and this gate is open because the other group already opened it. I hate this room. It spooks me out so hard. Doors are all locked, and the reds are all broken. We try to open them, but we can't. They've been removed, and the rest of the group joins. So now the trouble is, we all split off and go our own ways, and then when we all come back, Snake is gone and the parts are back. Anyone could have replaced them. Oh, sorry, we have to learn about the Gigantic. We made 2 ships, sister ships. Search them all. Search all the rooms. We don't find anything. Yet we come back, all the doors work again. What the? We haven't searched here. I know there's not going to be anything there, but let's see what we find. Clover. Something told Junpei that Clover probably wasn't in much of a mood to talk. Maybe we should leave her alone. Yes, I think you're right. Turned and walked quietly down the stairs. I think we should go back. An odd little part. Can't find Snake. Need to leave one person behind. Junpei wasn't quite sure that was true. Wait a minute. 2 people get behind if we split into 5 and 2, and 1 person is left behind if we split into 3, 3, and 1. I got that part. You can't go through the numbered doors with any less than 3 people, but if we split into 4 and 3, then why do 3 people have to be left behind? Just run the numbers. Say we go through door 7 with 1, 4, 5, 6. Who's left over? 3, 7, 8. What's the digital root for that? 9. Exactly. But door 9 isn't here, right? That means 378 won't be going anywhere. That was just an example, of course. There are a lot of different combinations, but the result will always be the same. It doesn't matter which 4 it is, the 3 that are left over can't get through any of the doors. Go ahead and calculate it, if you have the time. You'll see. Anyway, that's how it is. Now if we can get back to my proposal, and back to Skip Town. The funny thing about this microphone is that I'm pretty sure this is exactly the way that I played it the last time, except it was then fully voiced. But I do commentary even on my own. Which, of course, I am. Yes, sir. Soparil. Chemical. That I just have. I'm a door 8. And I get what I want. And we split up. Laboratory. Ugh. Ooh, I don't like this one. Clover wants to be alone, and she's gonna get her wish. Okay. Alright, let's try to remember how this one works. These open? They don't. These open. And ethanol. Antisepsis? Power button. There's no power cord. There is a power cable, but it doesn't work. Why would Zero trap us in here? Cables. Bars. Give me that thing. Thank you. Combine it with the cable. Thingy with the thingy. Okay. And it turns on. Well, at any rate, that was pretty amazing. Did you fall for me again? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What do you mean again? I'm not into you. I know. Don't be so stubborn, shy boy. I'm not being stubborn. I'm not shy, and I'm not a boy. I'm a young, healthy, 21-year-old man. I'm not gonna fall for an old lady like you. Suddenly, the guttural roar of a furious animal filled the room, or so Junpei thought, just for a moment. Lotus's hands suddenly stopped and her shoulders stiffened. Old lady? Did you just say old lady? Aw, crap, thought Junpei. I went too far. Oh well, it was a nice life while it lasted. I've had enough of you. Go somewhere else. You're bothering me. What? Go see if you can find a password hint or something. I'll try and open this from here. You're distracting me. Go. Now. Lotus waved her hand in the universal gesture of dismissal. Junpei was clearly not wanted. Time to cut my losses, Junpei thought, and left as quietly and inoffensively as he could. Wait. Let me check something. The last time I came into this room, I had gone through door 5 first. Fortunately. I think there was something that I had learned that I mentioned. He found no clues whatsoever. Nothing. He asked Clover if there was anything useful in the laboratory, but her answer was no. Wait, hang on. He asked Clover if there was anything useful in the laboratory, but her answer was no. So it looks like the only thing that's different is this time I was in the second class cabins with her, and so she was teasing me, which set her off and made the other conversation not happen, the one about wireless monitors. That led to the thing about, is it really the brain that's controlling the body, or is it maybe something else? Looks like we've hit a dead end this time. But just as he was about to tell Lotus that his search had returned nothing. All right, bullseye. Junpei, I did it. Excited cheering erupted from near the monitor. He hurried back to find Lotus looking rather smug. She gestured for him to look at the screen, and he did. The strange text from before was gone. In its place was something entirely different. 9 squares, arranged in a 3x3 square. What is that? I don't have any idea. It just showed up after I cracked the password. You think it's a puzzle? It certainly looks like one. As she spoke, Lotus stood up. Huh? Aren't you gonna, I don't know, do more computer stuff? I can't do any more. It won't let me do any more programming. See the keyboard? Nothing. So there's nothing more I can do. Well, I guess I'll leave this to you then, Junpei. What? Let me take a break, alright? I did my part. And she's pissed. Do I remember? Let's see. I think this would work. Yep. I solved it. Did I hear a noise? I sure did. No one seems interested, but I seem to have figured that out. Earth key and the activation key. It says WCOM. Well, never mind. Hey, hold on a minute. What is... Sorry. Just forget about it. It's nothing. Before he could say anything else, she spun around and ran back down the stairs. Wait, what did she say to introduce this? Junpei, do you have a minute? Never mind. What the hell was that? After waiting a few minutes to see if she would return, Junpei sighed, shook his head, and went back to searching. We're not getting along great this time. Power restored to experimental device. Okay, that means we can turn on the robot. Am I going to give her the ethanol so that she can solve a puzzle that I already solved? Interesting. Whoever can use the cloth on the table. Soak the cloth in ethanol and it's warping. Blip, blip, blip. Look at the table. What is this? I can't see it from here. Okay, roger. Oh, really? I didn't do them in that order, but it still worked. The mannequin's head's gonna start exploding and smoking, but that will unlock the room. Get out of there. And we get out of here. Hold it. Done, we reunite. We're all in the same place. And the door just goes back. This is why I hate this room, because it feels inescapable. Ain't that what I just said? I'm talking about the Jupiter key. We found it in the operating room. Here. Devin tossed something small and metallic toward Junpei. It's just the small variations that say this is something that I haven't seen before. Someone engraved the Jupiter symbol. It had to be the Jupiter symbol. Devin wants me to hold on to it. We now have 3 keys. The Earth key from the laboratory, the Saturn key card in the kitchen, and the Jupiter key, which 7 had found in the operating room. New keys, put in my pocket, because everybody knows that Junpei is guileless as hell. Then there's one thing that's bothering people. Number 3 door. Actually bothering me too. We get to the bottom of this one. I'm gonna go through it. Here, let me draw a horrible picture of what's going on so you can understand. Sorry. Nobody's going to talk about the letters that were written in blood on the wall. Guess we're not to a point where we need to worry about it. Plus, I guess everybody's pretty freaked out. Of course he was on the ship with us. Two-door. Number 6 door. Man, everybody gives Lotus so much shit. Number 1 door on the A deck. Number 2 door on the bottom deck. Number 6 door E deck. Yellow deck. Now I want to go through door 6. So we have to redo everything. So let's use context clues to figure it out. June, Ace, Santa, and me. It means, I think, that we are, yes. Fever sick. Fever sick. Fever come back. Okay, I'm not screwing around this time. I didn't break it. It broke all by itself. Sure, bud. Oh, something new. Santa walked away. Control panel. Render this thing. Okay. Alright. That's the light. Santa. You ever heard the story of the two Santa Clauses? It goes that a long time ago there were two Santas. One of them wore white and the other wore black. The white Santa gave presents to good kids, and the black Santa played tricks on bad kids. They went on like that for a while, but eventually the black Santa's tricks started to get worse and worse. Pretty soon the white Santa couldn't stand it anymore, and he stabbed the black Santa to death. When he stabbed the other Santa, the white got blood all over his clothes, and that's why these days his clothes are red. You could say that red is all that's left of the black Santa. I think Black Santa is playing at the entry this weekend. Junpei was silent. He could think of nothing to say. June was staring at Santa, sadness plain on her face. He continued, I wonder which Santa I am. The white Santa or the black Santa? All right, let's go. Okay. Warehouse. Bags. I'm looking for bags. Bag. 9. 3. 7. 6. 5. 2. 4. Electrified fence. Neat trick. Heck yeah. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'm just gotta look in crates, find the rest of them. One of them might be in here, actually. We have to collect all of them. Got it. Barrels, loot, nothing left. And this one, and this one or so. Hey, what about this little box? Haha! 1. It's all of them. I'll leave the rest to you. Strange, Junpei thought. Why would he not be able to put these cards that clearly have the faces of all of our fellow players on them into the right box. 9 cards with pictures. It's easy. Each one had a single pin. And those pins go into this box at the top of this thing. How did I do this before? Wait, I can do this. One, 2, 5, 7, 8, 9. I can't calculate. Fuck. 1, 2, and 7 is 10. 2 and 7 is 9. Can I get 14? No, I can't. I did this wrong. Well, whatever. It's 5 and 6. That I can do. Oh, I'm fussing. Boom. And like I said, remember, this is in Onimusha. But that's not right. Shit. Pushmaster 5000. Oop, shoot. Almost there. Over, find a coffin. Whatever. Just open it. Wait a minute. Santa did a weird mummy prank. It's not a mummy. It's a rusty key. Golden revolver. We should just leave it here. And we should also not pay too much attention to whether anybody else decides not to leave it here. Okay, now we know where we are. I'm going to explore everywhere until there's just the diamond door, on the other side of which are the 2 9 doors. And we figure out that Ace and Santa and Junpei can leave. But we're not going to do that. We're going to regroup. We want everybody else. But there's a problem. Clover is gone. Junpei and June ran into the central hospital room and looked around. She's not here. No, she isn't. They searched a little longer, but with no luck. They couldn't find Clover. Finally, they gave up and left the central hospital room. Slowly, they made their way back to the hallway. At last, they reached the stairs and Junpei spoke. All right, I'm thinking we should probably split up. I'll head back to the stairs and take the elevator down to E deck. June, you can take the stairs up to B deck. All right, that sounds good. But, what? Could you stop calling me by that code name when we're alone? Uh-huh. Oh, sure, right. I'll do that. There was a reason Junpei persisted in calling her June even when they were alone. Although perhaps not the best reason. He was embarrassed to call her by the nickname he'd used when they were children. Connie. 9 years ago, it came naturally. After all, they were children. But now that they were adults, it felt strange. Regardless of what he might hope for, to call a woman he wasn't dating by such a childish nickname felt odd to him. Of course, to call her Ms. Kurashiki-san would be even more awkward, and simply Kurashiki would seem a little brusque. Although he couldn't put his finger on why, it felt somewhat forward to call her Akane when they hadn't seen one another for so long. In short, it was simply easier for him to call her June and leave it at that. Alright, I'm going then. A brief aside, I find the complex social constructions around names in the Japanese language utterly fascinating. Yeah, be careful. Connie. June, or perhaps Connie, blushed and smiled. You be careful too, Jumpy. Yeah, got it. Take care. Junpei looked after her for a moment as she ran up the stairs, then turned around and took off for the hallway. Tragedy always strikes when one least expects it. But to wait for a man to stand before striking him down seems almost crueler than dealing the fatal blow while he lies on the ground. A light in a dark place, June's smile had given him hope, both for escape and possibly for something else. It was that hope that raised his spirits just enough that they might soon be fully dashed. He opened the elevator door, and there she was. A woman sat, slouched, against the wall. Lotus. Junpei felt his blood turn to ice. Her body was limp, and her skin, smooth and pale as always, was covered in bright red blood. Junpei felt his chest constrict. He couldn't breathe, and his legs began to shake. A slow, cold drop of sweat trickled down his back. He felt his stomach somersault. Junpei's mind went blank, all his thoughts replaced with endless, hissing white. Driven by little more than instinct, he began to walk toward Lotus, slowly. Each slow movement of his stiff limbs brought him closer to her corpse. Finally, he stood next to her. Robotically, he bent down and put his hand against her neck. There was no pulse, no rise and fall of breathing. She was slightly warm. Something, somewhere in Junpei's shaken mind, told him that meant she had been killed recently. Yes, Junpei thought, his mind slowly returning. She had been killed. Someone had killed her. There was a deep cut on the left side of her chest. Blood still oozed from it, although clearly her heart had stopped beating some time ago. The weapon had been a knife, then? Perhaps she'd been stabbed in the heart, once. She would have died immediately. He took little comfort from knowing she must have suffered very little. Only then did Junpei notice. Lotus's bracelet was gone. Lastly, let us discuss how to remove the bracelets. There are only 2 ways to do so. 1, you escape from this ship. 2, your heart rate reaches 0. In other words, once the bracelet is taken outside the confines of this ship, or detects that its wearer's heartbeat has fallen to 0, it will shut down automatically. Was that why the killer had ended Lotus's life? So that they might have the number 8 bracelet? If that was true, then the killer was whoever wanted the number 8 bracelet. Or perhaps more accurately, the person who would gain the most by obtaining bracelet number 8. Who was that? Who would benefit the most from the number 8 bracelet? The thought had only just entered Junpei's mind when he heard a noise. A sound like a sharp knife cutting through wet meat. It struck him as strange that the noise came from inside his own body. A moment later, the pain hit him. It wasn't merely pain, there was heat, extreme heat as well. He felt as though molten iron had been splashed against the side of his body. Finally, his brain made the connection. He'd been stabbed. But where? His body was quickly going numb. He couldn't tell where the knife had met his flesh. Given the circumstances, however, he had most likely been stabbed in the back. Whoever had killed Lotus had now done the same to Junpei as well. His voice was little more than a weak groan. With what little strength he had left, Junpei turned his body, trying to catch a glimpse of his attacker. But as he did, the knife dug itself in deeper, twisting viciously. He collapsed to the floor, a puppet with its strings cut. His arms and legs lay where they fell, oddly twisted and awkwardly positioned. Junpei's body was entirely numb. He could feel the blood leaking out of him, but nothing would move. Nothing save his eyes. As he lay on the floor, his life ebbing away, Junpei finally saw his attacker. 2 tiny images of the killer reflected in his eyes. With that recognition came nothing. He felt no emotions, not anger, not sadness, not regret. The paralysis that had claimed his body had reached his mind. His killer glanced down at his body. Then, without a word, climbed into the elevator and was gone. His eyesight began to fade. The world grew blurry and began to dissolve into an empty, white fog. The fog crept into the edges of his mind and worked inexorably inward. Soon it swallowed up the last that remained of Junpei's mind, and his consciousness left him. There was nothing more. Into utter emptiness he fell. Into zero. Whatever Junpei had been was gone. Bad end. Yes, of course. Of course I'd like to save. A knife. Of course.